Hi everyone, it's Georgia Reash, and it's good to see you again. I have not been on YouTube World for quite a while, and that's okay. Kind of my whole relationship with social media has changed a lot because I don't get anything from it. So the only thing I actually get something from is YouTube, just because I feel like I'm sharing more of who I am and doing what I do best, which is kind of share some of the things I'm learning and hoping that that gives you some inspiration along the way of your life. Anyways, many of you know that I've been hosting a little prayer gathering every a couple times a month. I've been doing that sometimes with my friend Sideria. I hope that, that continues to build some momentum. But I thought I would talk a little bit about why I'm doing it. It's called Meet, Pray, and Laugh. And it was really inspired because a couple of my friends during the pandemic said, we really need a time just to come together and pray because the world is sort of a scary place and I'm scared and my life is changing. So, and the other reason why I thought it might be important to kind of title it that way is because life is hard and we do have to have spaces where we can laugh, and coming together and praying together and laughing together is incredibly healing. So I only hope that becomes more frequent as the world opens up a little bit more. So enough of that. If you check out my Facebook page, you'll see the posting of that gathering, which is every second and fourth Saturday at 11 o'clock. Today I'm going to talk about prayer, okay? So, not everybody prays, or everybody prays differently because everybody's relationship with God is unique and different. But I would just wanted to kind of share about what prayer means for me. And I intend to be talking more and more about ways to connect to the divine, however you interpret that, through a class that I'm going to be teaching called Wealth is Within. And prayer is just one of the most common vehicles for connecting to something bigger than yourself. Now, there's all kinds of prayer, and as I said earlier, I'm just going to share with you how I have used prayer in my lifetime. I've always sort of been spiritually connected, and my prayer life has, sort of been a part of just life for me. But about 20 years ago, when I went through a strong personal crisis and kind of self-evaluation, deep, PTSD, healing and all of that, prayer started to become therapy for me. Now, there were kind of two kinds of prayers that I were praying at the beginning of my expanded spiritual journey. And the first set of prayers was, God, please help me. Just knowing when I was in a bad place that I could ask that question, please help me. And always feeling, well, most of the time feeling that I was receiving help. On the times that I didn't feel like I was receiving help, a part of me always had faith that somebody was present to my moments of suffering. And then there was kind of a second layer of prayer for me during my prayer time. And I've been praying for 21 years, at least an hour a day, combined with meditation. And that second level of prayer was simply being who I was in all my truth and all my humanness with God and talking with God about that. I've always been somebody who believed that I didn't have to have pretense with God. I could say whatever I wanted and God would be okay with that. It was just my formula. And even if it was dark or angry or filled with rage, I wanted to be that authentic with the God that made me. And I called that phase of putting all my junk in front of God, not just my anger about maybe what other people have done to me, but my disappointments in myself, putting all of my junk in front of God and admitting, sometimes in tears, that I was helpless to getting rid of my junk. I call this kind of cleaning the closets. And usually whenever I went through this phase of honest interaction with God, I would cry or I would have some kind of release. Because how can you kind of humble yourself enough and ask for help in the deepest sense by admitting your helplessness unless you kind of just let go of the control of the things that you don't have control over. And I did this and continue to do this, but when I was in the midst of, really wanting to improve my mental health, to improve the quality of my life, I wanted to have that kind of connection with the divine so that after I admitted my helplessness, I could just listen. And in that kind of vulnerable listening with God, after you admit that you don't know what you're doing or whatever, after you get there, you hear without the veil of the ego. And your ability to hear things, whether it's your own intuition, whether intuition is God speaking through you, just your ability to hear differently, to your subconscious, to hear all of who you are is cleared out. Because you're just having let go some of the veils of the junk that we carry with us every single day. So that's really just the first few layers of how I spend my prayer time. And then I have another kind of prayer, which is just all I do is pray for other people. People I love, people I can't stand. People I just pray for everybody. And even the people that I struggle with, I pray with love because I'm just trying to, come to peace in our relationship. So I spend a lot of time randomly praying for people in my life. Anyways, I'm going to keep talking about prayer, and maybe the next video we would even have a prayer time together. For me these days, the kind of prayers I've been praying has been really around gratitude. Because the power of gratitude, even in the midst of things that feel hopeless, is a high vibration of being with God just saying thank you. So anyways, on that note, I thank the universe for all good things that are presented to me now and will be presented to me in the future. And for all whom I love, I pray for safety and blessings and caretaking. And I pray for all who are suffering, God as well, so that suffering can be relieved. Bless all who are looking and seeking and hoping and yearning for a deeper connection to life. Amen. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody, those of you who are in the U.S., and see what happens if you commit to a time of prayer every day. And don't even measure the time by it, because however long you need is the time that you need to know that you be assured that you are not alone. Okay, bye.